Former TNA World Heavyweight Champion Josh Alexander reportedly chose the highest bidder between AEW and WWE when deciding his post-TNA wrestling destination. The AEW Grand Slam Australia gate was reportedly the third biggest gate in company history. Speaking of that event though, Buddy Matthews reportedly sustained an injury at AEW Grand Slam Australia. Several dates for John Cena's retirement tour will include dates in Europe next month. iShowSpeed discusses getting speared by Bron Breakker at the Royal Rumble. AEW is set to return to Boston in April with back-to-back events. Tony Khan says that Brisbane came to AEW and wanted All Elite Wrestling to have a show in that city. And a number one contendership match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship has been confirmed for tonight's edition of Raw on Netflix. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with Josh Alexander. Now, reports had come out in the last few days suggesting that the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion was set to become All Elite in the near future, and now we may have more idea and more reasoning as to how he came to that decision. After officially becoming a free agent following the expiry of his TNA contract, it looks as if Josh Alexander has chosen his next destination. While both WWE and AEW were interested in the 37-year-old, he is reportedly set to join Tony Khan's promotion. Speaking about Alexander's decision on a recent edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer discussed the former TNA World Champion's thought process, saying, quote, well, his TNA contract is up, and obviously he was going to go to AEW or WWE, and it looks like AEW. But I do know two things. Number one, he has decided where he was going, and number two, it was to whoever the highest bidder was for him. So the story is that it's AEW, but I know those were two key decision points. Providing the best for his family was key, and somebody offered a better deal than the other, and that's the one he took. So whichever side, and there was rumors it's AEW. I can't confirm AEW, but I can confirm the other two things. People go, oh, he made the wrong choice, blah, 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 blah. He made the right choice for him. I think he's in his late 30s, so it's different when you're 25 and you don't have a family. Whatever it is, it's kind of his responsibility at that stage to go. So if you are mad, you should be, understanding of him making decisions like he made. He made the right decision for him at this stage of his life, and it's not a decision over who he thought was. It may be who he thought was a better fit for his matches as well, maybe, but the key to the decision in this case was the family and going to be, essentially the highest bidder. So that's what happened, but both sides were interested, end quote. Now, Alexander last wrestled on the February 13th edition of TNA Impact, losing against Eric Young. Now, of course, this past weekend was AEW Grand Slam Australia. All Elite Wrestling held Grand Slam Australia on February 15th at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre in Brisbane, Australia, in what was the promotion's first ever show down under. While the show moved venues from Suncorp Stadium to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, it still proved to be a success for AEW, with Dave Meltzer reporting on Wrestling Observer Radio that Grand Slam Australia was the third biggest gate in company history. A final figure is currently unknown, but the gate was around $1.3 million 2 days before the show. The attendance for Grand Slam Australia is also currently unknown, but it is estimated by WrestleTix to have been between 11,000 and 12,000. The biggest gates in AEW history are the promotion's two All-In shows from Wembley Stadium. The 2024 edition of All-In had a gate of over $6 million, while the 2023 All-In gates drew around $10 million. The previous third biggest gate was the AEW New Japan Forbidden Door event back in 2023. Headline matches at AEW Grand Slam Australia included Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, a street fight of Cope and Jay White versus Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, and Mariah May versus Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, the event was a success for AEW, but there were some injuries at the event. AEW's debut in Australia was a huge hit for the company, as Grand Slam Australia had a number of memorable moments, as well as being a financial success, having the third largest gate in company history. However, Buddy Matthews didn't have a great night on home soil, as he not only lost to Kazuchika Okada in their AEW Continental Championship match, but it has been confirmed by PW Insider he suffered an ankle injury at the show. Matthews himself has taken to social media, which has since been deleted, to confirm he actually injured his ankle during his entrance, jumping off the rope into the ring and landing awkwardly. His wife, WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, was also in attendance for the show and posted a photo of herself and her husband after the show was over, with Matthews carrying a crutch to confirm his injury. Matthews was scheduled to be away from the ring for the immediate future due to being on his honeymoon with Ripley, as the two got married in June of 2024, but now his absence could be a little bit longer depending on how severe his injury is. Now, John Cena, of course, he's on his retirement tour in 2025, and some more dates have been confirmed for the former 16-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. John Cena's farewell tour is now underway, with the future WWE Hall of Famer set to work roughly 36 dates before hanging up his boots at the end of 2025. Cena has just made just a few appearances for WWE so far this year, meaning he'll have to ramp things up, and it looks like that's set to begin as soon as next month. WWE is currently advertising Cena for March 17th, March 24th, and March 31st tapings of WWE Raw, all of which will take place during the company's European tour. The first of the three shows will take place in Brussels, Belgium, before the promotion heads to Glasgow, Scotland for the second show. They'll wrap up with the third Raw taping in London, England, while other live events for SmackDown taping scheduled across the continents between those events. So far, nothing definitive has been announced for these shows, but advertised WWE superstars include undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner Jey Uso, Liv Morgan, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, and more. Of course, Cena has been adamant about winning his record-breaking 17th world title this year, and he was prominently featured during the Men's Royal Rumble match earlier this month, making it to the final two alongside Jey Uso. With both men duking it out in the edge of the ring, Uso outlasted Cena and will challenge Gunther at WrestleMania 41 in April. Following the Rumble, Cena confirmed he will now attempt to win his way to a WrestleMania world title shot by winning the Men's Elimination Chamber match set to take place on March 1st, 2025. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, of course, one of the most talked about spots was ISHO Speed getting involved in the Men's Rumble match. Bron Breakker delivered a thunderous spear to ISHO Speed at WWE Royal Rumble, launching himself full speed at the popular streamer and influencer. Speed was in a neck brace and on crutches after his brief appearance in the Rumble match. Now, he said during a stream that he was feeling the effects. He said, quote, "I ain't gonna cap, after this day after Bron Breakker speared me, I had probably one of the worst headaches. I couldn't move. I could not move, bro. I thought I was nearly about to die. Real talk, that was maybe one of the craziest, worst experiences ever. Real talk, I'm being so serious," Speed said on his YouTube stream. Now, Breakker said he would welcome Speed back to WWE if he was looking for revenge. The spear has amassed millions of views across multiple social media platforms. Now, AEW, they're going to be in Boston for back-to-back events in April. 2 new dates have been added to AEW's schedule, as the official website for the MGM Music Hall at Fenway lists AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, April 16th, and AEW Collision on Thursday, April 17th. The events are also listed on Ticketmaster. The pre-sale will begin Thursday, February 20th. Now, these will mark AEW's first show in Boston, Massachusetts since AEW Dynamite Big Business in March of 2024. This event was held at the TD Garden. AEW also ran the TD Garden in July 2023 with the Blood and Guts Dynamite special. The listed capacity for MGM Music Hall is approximately 5,000 fans, whereas the TD Garden has a maximum capacity of 19,580 for concerts and other events. Now, going back to Grand Slam Australia, Tony Khan says that Brisbane came to AEW. AEW travelled to Australia for the first time in company history for AEW Grand Slam Australia on February 15th. The event was held at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Appearing on Wrestle Radio Australia before Grand Slam, Tony Khan, the AEW president, CEO and head of creative, was asked why AEW decided to run Brisbane as opposed to Sydney, Perth or another city in Australia. He said, quote, "Brisbane wanted us. Brisbane came to us and said, we really want you. We want you to do a show here. We think AEW would be a tremendous attraction. It's been great," Khan said. Now, while making the rounds, Khan said AEW Grand Slam Australia was one of the biggest gates in All Elite Wrestling history. And finally, tonight is another episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and several segments and matches have been confirmed for tonight's show. For weeks, Ivy Nile has eyed up Lyra Valkyria and her WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. This week, she'll have the opportunity to potentially meet with Valkyria one-on-one, but first, she'll have to get through a member of Damage Control. As announced by Monday Night Raw General Manager Adam Pearce on X, Nile will face Dakota Kai on tonight's episode of Raw, with the winner earning a future Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Now, there is no word on when this title match will specifically take place. Regardless, it will mark the first title defense of Valkyria's reign. Valkyria captured the gold last month by defeating Kai in the finals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament, simultaneously solidifying herself as the title's first ever holder. Since then, Valkyria has wrestled 2 matches, one of which saw her lose a Women's Elimination Chamber qualifier match against Bayley. Her other outing came in the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble, which spanned 16 minutes before she suffered an elimination at the hands of the aforementioned Ivy Nile. Should Nile overcome Kai in the upcoming #1 contenders match, she will cement her first championship match of any kind since the April 22nd, 2024 episode of Raw. There, she and 13 other women vied for the vacant WWE Women's World Championship in a battle royal. The man, Becky Lynch, claimed the throne on that occasion by last eliminating Liv Morgan. On the other hand, a victory for Kai would set up a Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament rematch on the heels of her return from a concussion. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe button right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.